Hello, and we're back with the third game of today between both undefeated teams, ANU Esports and Mega Inferno.
We have ANU sitting on the left side this game on blue side, and Mega Inferno is going on the red side.
Yeah, straight away
It's going.
seeing a Tryndamere ban and a Yone ban.
We also get the Viego ban coming out. So obviously, with the ANU, one of their members must have been a Yone one trick for him to be banned in both games that we have seen.
Do we know
The
who it
VA
is? Is it Ming? Is
it
it...
would have to be the mid laner or top laner, so I'm going to assume that it is Ming. The Twitch ban coming out is interesting, and the Senna ban coming out as well. That's three ADCs banned, including Kai'Sa. But I'm more curious on this Viego ban. Looking at the previous games, we can see Inferno have had extremely well performances on this Viego. One of the games going as far as going 10-0. It would have been interesting to see, but we see it's not the Zaya first pick, but instead a Hecarim.
That's not
An,
fun.
ex an extremely good jungler, to say the least. But can we see how Inferno will respond to this, picking their jungle first or second? Or just opting out to choose a safer lane? The Alistair coming out of Inferno is a very interesting choice.
I'd say it's a decent choice knowing that there is a Hecarim, but just depends on who they pair it with. Right now would be a good time to pick an ADC.
Right now would not be that good to pick an ADC
You don't
since
think so?
counterpick for both support, both counterpicks for support and ADC would be open to the side of ANU.
Oh,
Instead, opting for the Nocturne against the Hecarim in the jungle. However, it is important to note the Nocturne mid and top have seen a massive resurgence ever since the changes with items like Stridebreaker and Gold Drinker. Swain coming out in response, also being another good flex pick into the bot support mid and top roles.
alright.
And Morgana coming out, obviously as a support answer to the Alistair and Nocturne. So far, it looks like ANU has got an extremely good team. Extremely good safe team with stuff like Morgana Black Shield and just Stain's general utility.
Interesting comp
And
so far for the side of Mega.
they have chosen to go Sivir, which is definitely an interesting choice. If that is a Morgana Swain bot lane, Sivir has a lot of utility there. Being able to use shield to block both the Morgana Q, Swain E, and just cancelling a lot of that risk. And Inferno have chosen to ban Gragas, which at this point is a great ban, stopping some of that tanky top laners coming into the game. But will we see a counter ban on the side of ANU? The mill ban coming out. And now a Silas ban.
Yep. Flexible champion. There's a lot of interchangeable champions for the side of ANU Esports right now. Swain and Morgana both being potential mid or support champions.
Indeed, and the Jax being banned as well. ANU just taking out top carry after top carry. Banning 4 top laners in general if you want to count Viego as a top laner. But this could indicate that they're planning to go a hard tank top, and the Vladimir coming out in response to this. Will we actually see a Vlad in play? We will see a Vlad in play. Adding some of the much needed AP damage into Inferno, but how will ANU respond?
This is...
Any thoughts on what we will
I'm
see
just
here,
I'm
Eric?
just excited. I think it's something tanky. They're going for like beefy comps. I think yep, another beefy champion in the Scion, and now it's just the ADC, and you can pick anyone here.
Lucian could come out as a flex pick once again. As the Swain isn't necessarily situated mid, this Lucian could just go anywhere on the map at this point. Probably not top, as Scion will most likely go there, but
Yeah,
we
we'll
never
probably see
know.
that lock in right now, and I think we are going to see a Morgana Lucian bot lane, Swain in the mid, and Scion in the top lane for ANU. Meanwhile, we're gonna wait for the final champion for Mega Inferno.
Who shall Leaf pick? Who shall he leave to last? And the timer is ticking down.
Could be anyone.
Would they pick? And it's the Kale coming out of Inferno.
Okay.
So that is a confirmed Nocturne jungle into a most likely Kale top and Vladimir mid.
Okay.
But it could also be a Kale mid, which has been done before to quite high success. The Kale probably in response to the Scion, but just leaves the question, can the Vladimir deal with the Swain or Lucian? Both quite rough matchups for him.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
he?
confused. I get it.
No,
I'm just like, it's an interesting comp. It's not something you see often. It's
on the side of Inferno or the side of
on the
AU?
side of Inferno. It's definitely a harder one to play out. I think they do need a lot of time to scale and to get to the point where they want to be. But Nocturne will be a solution for that early game to get through that tough stage. But it's just I feel like it's an interesting comp.
I completely agree with you on that point. Nocturne is the only real answer early, but they have some amazing late game with KO Vladimir Siva.
Yeah, but can
But
you
can
get
Alistair
there?
and Nocturne solo carry them there? Is
And
a question
and
against
these are not
Force.
easy champions to gank. Like they are beefy.
They are more than beefy. Champions like Lucian and Swain just have so much utility to get out, get in, move around, and deal damage. Hecarim ganks can completely slaughter some of the members. Vlad has the safety of his pool, and so has the safety of the E. But KO does not have any of the luxury of these shields or escapes. If she just gets hard stuck in lane against the Scion, there is no getting out, especially since Sion's such a prominent lane bully. This is going to heavily rely on how well KO does to level 6.
Options, yeah.
Options. But I'm still curious to see where some of these champs will go, because it's most likely Lucian bot, but
No,
it
it has to be Lucian bot.
it
Like
can be Lucian mid into the Vladimir. Like, it's not a bad lane.
it can be, but like what are we gonna see in the bot lane?
The Swain.
Swain Morg?
Swain Morg, it is a lane done before. Since
I guess.
Swain's passive works on any CC target.
No,
The
that's.
moment Morg binds, yeah, so Morg binds, Swain pulls, Swain E.
I mean,
That's a solid 2 seconds of CC.
you're definitely right. It's possible.
It's possible, but the question is,
Or
where
they
is the
they
Swain?
could throw us into like a complete mess. Morgana can be Morgana jungle, Hecarim top. We see the Scion Swain in the bot side and Lucian mid. So you know,
I think the Hecarim top is actually not too crazy idea.
Hecarim top's viable. Morg jungle's viable for a bit. Like
Morg jungle is definitely viable, but it's gonna. I can't completely rule it out, but it's definitely
I look.
more unlikely.
I don't think they're doing it here. I'm just saying it's viable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
more
viable.
viable than Team. Oh, Teemo jungle's actually quite viable. If
It's viable after the buffs, yeah. but
yeah.
no one likes
Okay,
Teemo.
it's more viable than Yuumi jungle.
Anything's more viable than Yugi jungle, my good sir. I think I
Oh,
can jungle better than Yuumi. And
what
I'm
is the
Team
worst
Yuumi.
jungler to go? Is it Yuumi?
I'd say it's Yuumi. But anyway, we are now 7 seconds in getting into this game. And there's something I have noticed that I shall say now. But ANU has kind of counterpicked each champion on Inferno in the early game. Morgana completely nullifying Alistar's engage with the Black Shield. Seva trying to spell shield both the Morgana and Swain is a good choice. But she can't spell shield twice, so
No.
she has to be careful where she... And that is a Dark Harvest Seva.
That's interesting. Oh, we're
So-
straight into game.
We are straight into game, and I think I have realized what is going on now. It is in fact a Lucian mid, Swain bot lane taking the heal. The Morgana opting for cleanse, but this Sivir is going to be the star of the show, going lethality Muramana Sivir potentially. And she's picking up the tier, kind of confirming the suspicions. It is actually a Muramana Sivir.
Yes. Are we expecting a Kale top? Yeah, that looks like Kale top and Vladimir mid.
It's a KO top of Vladimir mid, but I think in this situation, if they ever feel like they need to switch,
I feel like the swap is better.
I honestly
Do you not agree?
disagree.
You don't?
Lucian into KO before level 6, KO's just gonna get shut down.
Yeah,
She may have
it is
wings,
pretty
but she
rough.
can't fly.
Yeah. I don't like Kale. I rather just let Kale die. Like, send Vlad top, let Vlad have a chance. Like, both lanes are really hard for Lucian. Lucian is just such a bully. And into both those champions, Lucian is gonna have a great time.
Lucian is gonna have a great time, but will it be a Lucian's as good as we see at Worlds, or is it gonna be the good old solo queue Lucians? And Sion is going after KO.
Kale does win out that trade.
KO wins out the trade with press the attack. Maybe everything we thought was wrong. But Sion did miss the Q, so a large chunk of his damage did go away. And KO starting the E, which has been buffed to 0 mana, missing the Q again.
Oh, he did get a little bit of damage.
But the KO just hitting him twice, probably press the attack, doing up to half his health. It's gonna be a rough lane.
He gets it now. This is where you want to do something cheesy, and Nocturne should just level E and go for a level 2 gank top, just to screw with that Sion a little bit.
It definitely would not have been a bad idea to start topside, just try and get that early gank on the Sion, especially since he was playing so aggressive. But looking at mid and bot lane, Lucian is just smashing this Vladimir early on, preventing him from CSing. And bot lane,
wow.
it looks like Alistair could die here.
He might I think he...
Alistair living on 30 HP. Unlucky for the side of ANU, but this bot lane just bullying them out at level 2. And that was the Morgana Q into Swainy I was talking about. The Alistair just could not move, having to be at 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a painful one. That Sion Q does miss again, but we can already see the lane dominance of Lucian being 6 CS ahead. The wave is pushing in, but Vladimir struggling to pick up that CS here and there. We are looking to see a Nocturne gank in the top lane. He will be spotted out by a ward, but Nocturne is pretty quick. We should see first blood from Nocturne.
Oh, Sion flashing in. He has no escape now. Hecarim's trying to get up. Sion trying his best, but he cannot run away.
Yes, I think
first blood onto the KO.
Sion did see that Nocturne, and I think he felt like he was going to die regardless, so he did try and get that solo kill before Nocturne comes in, but instead he flashes in and kind of seals his death.
But this is a big loss for Sion. Cameron might be one level down and have a CS deficit.
Oh no! Alistair dead!
Alistair's dead. Swain.
Oh, Leaf almost gets a kill.
Leaf barely missing because of the Morgana's flash.
Oh no! Oh no, Leaf
gets the E again, and it's another kill for ANU.
We should just jump into solo queue and just play this Swain Morg lane. I feel like that'll be...
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm as good as hitting skill shots as this Morg.
How good do you need to be? It's all kind of locked in.
And we got Sion going back in on this KO top lane.
We may see... no, Hecarim's there, but will he back in time?
Hecarim just...
He should back quietly. He does recall quietly.
Nocturne just taking his grunt, not knowing any better that the horse was just dancing in front of him. Sion has started hitting his Qs on this KO, and it's a noticeable difference than before. Sion opting to go Doran Shield on his first back, choosing not to use his teleport for a better back opportunity later on.
Yeah.
Nocturne is quickly farming his jungle on an even lead to the Hecarim.
This is
But
this is looking to be really scary for Mega Inferno. If they don't start making some big moves, it's not gonna look great. Nocturne does need to keep ganking and he should try and rush that 6, but I think they recognize that and they're having a repeat gank top
and
lane.
I think Sion has decided to overextend once again.
Yes, Sion's death should be sealed with this gank.
Choosing to, instead of just going back and staying safe, to just try and kill this KO, leading to his death once again. He has the TP to get back to
no.
lane, and he can
Type
pick up
3?
the
Does
CS.
he get away? Spell shield.
Type 3 gets away, but
Right now, it looks like the best win condition that top jungle synergy for the side of Mega Inferno. Taking down that Scion as much as possible and letting that Kale scale seems like a pretty good option right now.
But it's too late now to say scaling. Kale has reached level 6 at 7 minutes. As long as she doesn't walk into the bush here, and Kale walking into the fully charged Scion Q, not expecting him to hide in that bush and jump out of there. That is a big misplay. And now, ANU also picking up the Mountain Dragon. The Scion's just going to get tankier and tankier. Like, the first 2 deaths under Scion didn't matter that much compared to the 1 death on the Kale.
I mean, with that CS difference, yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Like, Kale is struggling to maintain or to even create a lead, but it's all about scaling. That's what Mega Inferno's comp is for. Does find a little pick up on Morgana. Morgana may go down. He will get stunned up by. Oh, Leaf does pick up the kill. Exhaust on Chamden. Hecarim looking to do as much as he can.
There's not much he can do here.
I mean, he does a lot right here.
Delusion is apparently viewing a movie, ignoring his team completely and opting to stay in this lane.
I think Lucian tried to kill Flappy on his own. Flappy will die. Bolt Falcon will
die, but Lucian go down here. Yeah.
He does get feared up. And Bolt is huge on a killing spree. He's 3-0-3, making moves this game.
Yeah, he may have killed Vladimir, but that was a flash for flash. And this Nocturne just got huge. If I believe right, this was just a 4-for-1 trade for the side of ANU.
Was that a 4-for-1?
Creamed that fight.
1, 2, 3?
4-for-1 for Inferno.
There was 4 kills. Did one go down? It did look like a 4-for-1. I think you are correct.
For a scaling team comp, like, the CS did matter a lot, and they were falling behind, but that may have put them back in the game with this Nocturne getting bigger. And Sion deciding just to hit this KO into oblivion, taking her down to about 75% HP with an ult in the Q, making her have to recall.
Yeah, Nocturne is a menace right now.
Nocturne's in a menace, but his ult is about halfway on cooldown. Still another minute 6 seconds until Paranoia comes back up.
Hecarim is doing Herald. Will Nocturne check? He does have the little plant to check over there.
He can also put down a ward, but I do not think Nocturne needs to contest this at this point. They're losing a lot of CS, Sion picking up those plates, going back becoming tankier. But my main concern is the bot lane. Swain Morgana are still crushing the Sivir Alistair. They have no answer to the range, just purely out of Morgana, let alone Swain. Sivir can Q, yeah. But this is just becoming harder and harder, nearly a 30 CS difference between ADCs. Morgana missing the Q onto a minion.
Nocturne does have his ult up in a moment. Does find Morgana all alone. Looking towards the Swain
he's looking
instead.
Again at the Swain under tower.
Morgana, Swain, Morgana, Swain.
His indecisiveness may cost him. But instead, does Alistair checking for a bush, just deciding to back off, not to initiate? One thing to note is Morgana does have the stopwatch if they choose to engage. Morgana's ult will go through just with the stopwatch. No sums on the side of Leaf, and only exhaust on type 3. Swain just hitting level 7, and Alistair only level 5, but it looks like they're planning to gank. Hecarim can answer this.
Nocturne is there, does do a lot of damage. Type 3 does not go down yet.
Oh,
Will get stunned.
coming through.
Bolt does
Hecarim
not get enough, and that's a shutdown for Hecarim.
Shutdown
And
on the Hecarim.
And Hecarim will go for more. He can get a triple kill here. One more. He will have his E up very, very shortly. Does not
And
need
that
it. That's a
was
triple kill.
Big play. Another thing to note is Kale's TP did get cancelled by the Scion. That's a wasted TP on Kale. Scion going in on Kale. Kale having to pop the ult, just getting
Kale will
slammed
need to
down by
flash
the
away.
Scion. It won't matter if she flashes because Scion has flash to follow up. Can Scion get another kill? Yes!
That's-
Scion smashing this Kale, and that overall
That's
win
a
for AMU.
huge gold swing in the past
That gold
minute.
swing is massive.
That was like 3k. I think Hecarim picked up at least a k on his own.
Perhaps. But this Rift Herald also going down bot lane.
They're looking again. Hecarim does get into the Nocturne. He should be able to pick up this kill, but Hecarim is fast.
The fast is too speedy for just a man with a whip. Getting away safely without a Karen around. Nocturne does pick up the Rift Scuttler though. And potentially the Infernal Drake. This leaves the question, do you believe it's going to be Ocean Soul this game or Cloud Soul?
I feel it will be Cloud. Ah, I got it.
Let us find out. It is Cloud
I
Soul.
got the
indeed.
50-50.
Cloud Soul not really benefiting either team greatly. It does help ANU a little bit more, however, reducing their ult cooldowns and giving them movement speed on ults like Swain and Morgana's just to allow them to close the difference. Alternatively, it could also majorly help Kale and Nocturne, allowing them to ult nearly under a minute. We shall see who gets these dragons in the future, but it's even 1-for-1 dragons at the moment, with overall advantage going to ANU with nearly a 5k gold.
Nocturne
lead.
does have ult up. Ming will be taken down very shortly unless he can escape. Nocturne does not get his Q off. That's a misplay. That there was a huge
Nocturne missing
misplay.
The Q is fine. It wasn't that huge a misplay. They burnt Lucian's flash and ult.
They just didn't follow up, to be honest. They both
didn't
had
follow
flashes
up.
up. They just left it.
But Nocturne's ult is back up in a minute and a half. Lucian's flash is down for another 4. He can't escape again. And if they choose to go back on him in a minute.
And
They're
that
going mid lane, and it's looking like Hecarim's going in deep,
Hecarim
trying
is
to-
going in big. Does soak
trying
up a
to
lot
kill
of
the TP
damage.
Alistair. Sever having the flash away.
Nocturne ult right now would have been great. But he
Nocturne
might not
ult
need
would have
it.
been great.
Q's in, flashes.
Flashes in. He doesn't need to use Strikebreaker, choosing just to secure the Swain, and Leaf gets the kill. That is massive. Scion TPing way too late to be in this fight. And now he's just getting punched down. He tries to 10 with his Q, but decides to charge again for 2 on melee to his death. And it bounced back by Infernals in that fight, taking down the Swain. Looking at items, it seems like Mythics have been picked up by the entire side of ANU. But Inferno still has a little bit to go to start picking up their Mythics. One thing I do want to point out though is Scion is
3v1.
running in.
But he's so tanky. They just opt to leave him alone.
The Sunfire Angus and Ninja Tabi just basically negate any physical damage. The Nocturne Spell Shield just
I mean,
making that ult
I don't think-
absolutely worthless.
I don't think there's a... This is a reasonable fight, but playing it safe is a good option too. We are still looking to see that Kale and see that Vlad scale.
The Kale's almost level 11, halfway there. Once she gets to level 11, her attacks will start to do waves. Only with the level 16 power spike to go. Vladimir is also scaling up pretty well handedly, not being down 30 CS earlier. Only 20 down now.
Ooh, good spell shield.
That spell shield on that Q saving Siv's life. Swain does have ult, but I do not think they wish to fight at this point. Especially with the Hecarim and Sion split so far away. Lucian missing the Gromp.
There's a 5k gold advantage for ANU, but it really doesn't feel like it.
The main problem is most of that gold is gone into the Sion and Hecarim.
That is true. That is definitely true. If we press our button that says X, we can see some gold stats. It's 1k ahead with the Swain. We got 2k more gold on Morgana than the Alistar. That's actually pretty big.
It is pretty big.
You wouldn't think it, would you?
I mean, a whole Imperial Mandate. That's a whole mythic ahead of the Alistar, and
there
she
is.
already has a stopwatch. Going towards that Zhonya's. I kinda wish this Hecarim wasn't going tank and opted for a more aggressive build.
I
But
really
at
like
this point-
Hecarim's other options. I don't see the tank options as much. Hecarim's other options still allow him for huge sustainability and tankiness within those build types.
That is true. We're looking at top lane now. Rift Herald taking down the tower. Seems like KO will not contest. There seems to be a fight going down the dragon. Alistar hit by Morgana Q. Just walking away with ultimate. Lucian popping the ult. Nocturne popping the stride breaker to get away from the Swainy and Lucianal. The fight ended as soon as it began, but it was a clear win for ANU.
Yep, ANU just wanting that dragon, so burning those ults just to secure that dragon. It's a very good option right now.
It is an amazing option. It makes Alistar unable to just run in, as he does not have that mega tankiness he gains from Unbreakable Will.
Some decent League of Legends coming out from ANU. This is how you want to play. You just want to burn things, scare them away, make sure they lose their options, and you know you can secure things easily. You are in the driving seat. You don't need to do anything too crazy.
Not doing anything too crazy. It seems like Nocturne's going back on the Lucian, realizing his flash is still down, but the Hecarim is here to make sure that doesn't happen. But Lucian going down anyway to the Vladimir.
He will, but can Flappy survive?
Flappy can survive. This
He just
Hecarim has a lot of base
TPs.
damage.
No E yet. Oh,
He's
and he gets E in the
BM.
last moment.
This BM from Vladimir, he should have just ran away, but decided to TP in front of a Hecarim. That death is well deserved by Vladimir.
Yeah, I definitely think he should have ran away.
He could have run away with that Q, with the movement speed from his Q, the slow from his E. So many ways to get out, and he just sits there and decides, nah, I want to burn a summon a spell for nothing.
It looked cool.
It looked cool, it looked flashy, but a bit too much against one of the best teams in the competition. Going back to the mid lane, it seems like Sivir is actually doing a decent chunk of damage to the Swain.
Yeah, they
She
did.
hasn't got boots yet, but she's sitting on a serrated Dirk.
Yeah, they really did feed Sivir some free kills earlier on, and it's showing to be a little promising for them there. Nocturne
And
did choose the tankier build type as well, so something different to see.
Nocturne going into the Warden's Mail.
Looking to pick
Stopping
up
the
that
Lucian.
Randuin's, I believe. Should be a Randuin's. We are coming to that 20-minute mark.
It's coming to 20-minute mark. But it doesn't seem like this game is going to get to another 20-minute mark after this. Good thing to note is the Alistar is walking away. The Sion deciding to tan on the Vladimir.
Yeah, but Nocturne is coming down, so looking to
Yeah,
see a
it's not
2v1,
like-
but is it enough?
Sion running away with his ultimate. They cannot catch up to him.
Yep. It's not how you want to approach that one, but
The only way to stop that would have been Nocturne flashing in front of the Sion to potentially stop it with his spell shield, but opts in to save his flash for an ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturne didn't need to use Stride Breaker in the very beginning. You can use Stride Breaker towards the end. So you
Stride?
use that to block the movement. Instead, Nocturne choose to position closer towards that side. So he could have stayed
I
in front
would
of Scion at all times.
I'd actually disagree. That Stride Breaker at the start was good because it stopped Scion from just running at the Vladimir, which was needed at the time. If Scion kept freely walking at the Vladimir, there could have actually been potential for Scion to kill that Vladimir, as crazy as it seems. But this Scion is incredibly tanky. But you have to remember, Sunfire Aegis does a lot of damage in the long run, especially after the previous buffs to it, to bring it back to nearly maximum.
No doubt, but we have a fight here right now. Hecarim on the backside.
Hecarim's on the backside.
You're on your own, buddy. That's a 4v1. Hecarim still alive. Not going down. Wait, he does go down. What did Morgana die to?
Morgana died to the tower shots coming after her. Nocturne apparently killing her.
Nocturne does have ultimate yet again. Will he use it? Probably not. Baron's an option.
Baron is an option, and their team is pretty good at taking it.
I think we're seeing pings.
Like I see the pings. They are in fact going up to this Baron. But this is what I'm talking about before. If this Hecarim chose to build a bit more damage, he probably could have one-shot that Sivir. And the Lucian trying to get away from this Nocturne, but instead, Alistair just pulverizing him away. Lucian trying to flash.
Nocturne able to chase with his Q shadow. But this
Ignite onto Nocturne, leaving him incredibly low.
This is going to be a interesting fight. I'm not sure if who's going to win, to be honest. Scion is really tanky. He takes one, he takes two, he takes three.
Triple kill for the Scion. Hecarim charging in now. This is an easy kill on Vladimir as well.
Is that a quadra?
A 4
No.
for 2 fight there. No quadra for the Scion.
But they...
Choosing instead to opt for Dragon over the Baron is a great choice since they have no damage to take down this Baron.
They don't, but that's the Aegis working wonders there.
But as soon as Inferno decided to get a lead, they decided to throw it all away with a play like that.
Yeah, Nocturne without the damage, you cannot be chasing in like that.
Nocturne using his flash to chase the Lucian, and then just trying to stay there. They should have just tried to left the Nocturne to dive and tried to get out of there, but instead opting to stand in between the Scion and a wall. It's also good to note that both the Vladimir and Kayle had flashes, so they could potentially have gotten out.
Yeah, this is getting to a very interesting point in the game with Kayle still level 13, should be able to get 16 in the next few minutes. Hopefully,
No, she
maybe
might not get 16 minutes.
by maybe
At least by
28,
30 minutes.
29. They just have to. They do have the time for that, unless Inferno does anything too crazy. But the rest of the Inferno side doesn't look like they have the damage available. Leaf getting absolutely chunked by Ming. Ming hitting almost all his shots. Yeah. Wow.
That was a fight.
Yep.
Well, Leaf is dead. They're opting for Baron. Having the Lucian with them this time and the Sway, they actually have the DPS to take it down.
Nocturne's best available option right now is to go for a steal, but I don't think he'll be able to get it. You do need a blue ward. Nope, that's fine.
Alistair not having Hex Flash, not being able to go in and initializing for the Nocturne. Morgana's zoning them long enough to actually take this Baron. One dragon left till Soul, and while it might not be a carry Soul, this is still significantly good for champions like Hecarim, Swain, Morgana, and Lucian, as said before.
Yep.
They really need to try and contest next dragon and stall out this game.
Soul is still Soul. Might not be the best one, but it's still a Soul Dragon.
Another thing to take into account, I've just realized, this is an AD Kayle in the top lane. Opting for Bladed Rune King into shield though.
There's no mythic yet, yeah.
No mythic, but Inferno only has a bit of magic damage with their main source being from the Vladimir. The entirety of ANU can just optimize for a more armory tanky build, but in the top lane, Lucian just getting caught out by the Nocturne KO combo.
It's a very good pickup for the side of Inferno. Kale does get that kill and just gives Kale a little more time to get that level 16. I think that's pretty much where it's at right now.
It is definitely where it's at right now. A thing I have also just noticed, a lot of the champions on the side of Inferno have opted to take conditioning and overgrowth, most noticeably Nocturne and Kale. So while they might not seem as tanky on the surface, the longer this game goes, the tankier they're gonna innately get.
Oh, Hecarim goes straight in. Nocturne is a tanky boy, so you're not going to be able to kill him yet. He does
But
get
Nocturne
away.
just-
No! Chamden flashes in. That Swain is huge. Dr. Apathy, can you pick anything
Swain
up?
is just-
Kale,
Swain just
what
being
can you
hurt.
do?
The KO is getting tossed around like a pancake at a restaurant.
Oh, Kale!
Going from table to
There's
table.
potential! Kale can pick up more kills! No! She does!
The Vladimir dies.
That
And
shutdown was
was
huge.
2 kills, 2 to KO on the side of Inferno, but that was 4 kills for the side of ANU and the full tower. It does not look like a good chance for Inferno to win at this point onwards.
No, I say that was worth. 2 kills on Kale? That's
2 kills on KOs for the entire enemy team. Yeah, no.
I mean, there's no inhibs down, you got more time. This is when you call late game. You just need to get there.
They're probably spam pinging late game in chat because that's where they're gonna need to go to win this one. Sivir picking up the Duskblade now.
I'd love to
Nearly
see a Knight's
reaching
Vow.
that.
Love to see
A Knight's Vow on the Alistair seems to be in the work with this cloth armor and ruby crystal, but it could also be one of the various new support items. One thing I have to mention is, I'm surprised by the lack of moonstones I've seen so far in this tournament. An incredibly good support mythic in general, but even like when you're falling behind. Like champions like Morgana can definitely take Imperial Mandate, but it would have been interesting to see her pick up Moonstone just to give the Swain a bit more healing and a team a bit more pressure, especially with the W's coming out, constantly proccing it.
Vlad does have TP, but is opting to walk towards Dragon instead. They are looking to take a more traditional 5v5. Dr. Apathy without ult, without flash, and without level 16 yet. But
It's important to note that Swain had used all his sums last fight, but he's got his ornament back. Same with Morgana. Morgana can't just flash in 5v1 and get that Zonya's ult off.
look, it's not a bad fight for either team. Lucian on his own. Meanwhile, in the middle, oh no.
It seems like, well, Nocturne decided that Lucian was the juicier target. The entirety of ANU is like, tasty treat. Hecarim just running down Sivir without a care in the world.
And that may be
Lucian picking up the
GG.
Nocturne.
That's an
That
ace. That's a
is-
5-0.
That's a Cloud Drake into a push mid. This Lucian can just solo it. An incredibly good fight
I gotta
by
say,
ANU.
Hecarim did amazingly there. There was big damage coming out, but Hecarim had like a 3-4 man fear, and Nocturne went on his own way. I'm not sure if
That
TP
Hecarim
timers are enough.
Hecarim ult definitely disrupted both Sivir and Alistar and stopped Vladimir from doing anything. But something important to note, KO couldn't ult that fight or chose not to. Maybe a huge mistake going in later into this game. But Baron's coming up in a minute, and ANU is now on a 10k gold lead. Once they have their ults back up, they can choose to fight again. Sign picking up the Abyssal Mask to help his team. The moment he ults into them, the damage his team's gonna do is just gonna spike even further than now.
Yep. Inferno
Well-
does have their win condition now, so they're not stressed. Kel does have level 16, and that's all they needed.
Swain is also nearly level 16. A massive upgrade to his ult will come once he reaches 16. And he's only about halfway there, so he might not get it in time for the Baron fight. But KO has reached level 16. That bonus range and damage coming out from her, it's gonna make her extremely scary.
That
If
really
you
would have
cannot
made the
focus them.
difference in the last fight. Kale did need to position quite strangely because of the reduced range.
It would also have made a huge difference the last fight if she ulted someone, but you know.
I mean, ulting does help win games.
Ulting does help win games, especially when it's invulnerability to one person on your team. The main problem is, Kale is the only constant source of DPS on their team. Vlad does have the DPS, but he does not have any of the big items to help him get there.
They're all looking to get
It looks like
Scion.
Inferno's looking to get Scion. But it's not worth the getting Baron for one Scion.
I mean, they had... Going into Baron was a surefire way of potentially losing this game. At least now they get to stave off for a little longer and just survive and see what mistakes ANU may make.
The mistake ANU made was definitely leaving that Scion alone in the side lane. He did give pressure, but he didn't need to be there. He had a better chance fighting with his team than just side laning and trying to get the people to focus him. Right now, what Inferno needs to do is get their Siva items and get their Vladimir a death cap or some kind of a heavy source of AP.
Yeah, at this point, like, I would just tell my my Siva to sell off the items and just build support things. You just you're not gonna make the range. It's so hard. You think so? I don't think any damage is coming out.
If you think about it, that's a 1k damage on a Q potentially to the first target. It's just she needs to pick up the Scrudge. Once she gets that bonus armor pen on all champions. Because you gotta remember, Siva's fighting into the Scion and Hecarim. She can't get to the backline where she wants to be, where she can just openly throw out those chakrams at the Swain, at the Lucian, at the Morgana.
That is true.
She has to deal with... Let me just check for a second. She has to deal with 170 armor on this Hecarim and 260 armor on this Hecarim. Sorry, Scion. 160 on Scion, 260 on Hecarim. You can't just punch that.
No, you can't. And there's
and that's more.
There's Thornmails. There's other things on top of that. So yeah.
These damage reduction modifiers.
Oh no,
really
Leaf.
Impact and Lucian.
Oh, and you did not want to use your Cal ult into that. Hecarim does get a beautiful ultimate off. It is looking like chaos. Swain, Hecarim doing crazy things. That's GG. They just got deleted.
They got the fight they needed. The Civet inting that fight away, wasting the KO. Hecarim being able to just run in and fear the entire team. Scion should be able to just tank these towers, but Hecarim's in Nene world, just trying to clear that mid wave.
That's GG. ANU played extremely well this game.
ANU crushing another team as the Nexus goes down.